Hey F1 fans, welcome to Austria. I mean the race of track limits. But anyway, here's the lovely track in Austria, the Red Bull Ring, and let's get into what happens to all the drivers. Okay, let's do the drivers. Championship standings. Before we jump into all that, check this out. Alright, these are all of the notes that happened to adjust the standings as we saw them on the race on TV. So, yeah, there was a legit penalty given after for Nick DeVries forcing a driver off the track. Everything else was track limits. Look at them all. Some of them twice, some of them 4 times. Ocon ended up racking up 30 seconds of penalties. So you can imagine that the way that we saw the race finish is not the way that it actually panned out in the end. So check this out. We have here what we saw at the race finish and then what we see after the penalties. These are all of the changes that happened. It's just kind of crazy. So yeah, just quickly look at the downward curves. Some are steeper than others, so Sainz actually lost multiple places and De Vries lost multiple places. Others lost just 1 place. And then some were winners, of course, many gaining 1 place, but Zhou gaining 2 places out of the whole kerfuffle. I really do hope they do something about it for next time, because this is a little bit silly to have this many changes happen after the race. Okay. Now for our regular comparison of championship standings from last week in Canada, or rather 2 weeks ago, to this week in Austria. Here's how they stand now. All right, so for a change-up, let's do the change-ups first. So we have Russell stank down 1 while Charles went up 1. They swapped places, although they are now tied in championship points, 72 and 72. Russell held off Perez for a few laps only and had a pretty uneventful race overall, ending in P7, while Leclerc, starting in P2, stayed behind Max on the start, but had a great race, and Ferrari got the strategy right, and he ended in P2. Then we have Gasly and Norris swap places. Gasly did not have a great race, while Norris started 4th, and thanks to getting no penalties, also finished 4th. So took home very nice points. A very happy day for McLaren, seeing their upgrades working well, which they've put into Norris's car only at this point. And then finally, we also have Albon and Hulkenberg changed places. Albon had a difficult race, and Hulkenberg had an engine failure and had to retire, but he did excellent work, placing his Haas high in the qualifications and scoring points in the sprint race, which is what allowed him to move up in the championship. And then finally, all the drivers that stayed the same. Out of those, I just want to mention Hamilton. He got a great start and pushed past several cars in lap 1, but the engineers told him that he needed to kind of nurse a brake issue, and he started going out of track limits many times. He got told, "We know the car's bad, just drive it." But then in the post-race interview said that there was nothing wrong with the car. So I thought that was a bit strange. But yeah, overall, same story for Hamilton. Car not performing and him not being able to do what he wants to do with the car. And then, of course, we have Perez not getting out of Q1 again, starting P15 and working his way up through the pack to finish on the podium in P3. So a really good fight back. Again, could not get past the Ferrari, but maybe he could have if the race was longer. All right. On to the team championship standings and how they changed from last week, last race to this race. We've got Canada and what the results were there, and Austria. And now what the championship standings are here. And we have basically 1 switch. Alfa Romeo and Haas swap places again, because if you remember last time, they swapped places the other way. because again, Nico scored 3 points in the sprint race while Alpha had a pointless weekend, or shall I say point-free weekend. And all the other teams stayed the same. Let's take a look at how close they are. Well, we've got Mercedes and Aston are getting awfully close to one another, so we might be able to see a switch up there, and that's it. So yeah, this is a triple header. We have the next race coming up in just a few days, so stay tuned and have fun. Bye!